Sunday just past was Remembrance Day, when we remember those who have served in the armed forces and lost their lives. Here in Balfron, we were very fortunate to be able to have a morning service in church and then an online service with the other churches in the village. Today is the 11th day of the 11th month, which is designated as the actual day of remembrance. Over the past few days, I have been thinking of what this actually means to me. The only close relative of mine to lose his life was my mother's brother, William, who left a widow and 2 young children. He died aged 26 in the First World War, so I never knew him. I was born just after the beginning of the Second World War and have been told that the air raid sirens went off during my christening in Edinburgh, but my parents wanted it to continue. I was fortunate to have my father at home during the war, as he was in the police force and needed at home. My early memories were of him going off to work in his uniform with his gas mask each day. Each of us had a gas mask, which was very heavy to put on, claustrophobic and foul-smelling. The sound of the siren going off was loud and terrifying, and we had to go down the stairs into the air raid shelter in the back garden, a cold, damp place. Also, every night before we switched on any light in the house, we had to pull the blackout blinds down. After the war, I just loved looking at the night sky before I went to sleep. Daily life during the war for me was happy. Fortunately, the main struggle was for my parents to provide food and clothing for my brother and myself. Everything was rationed, and you had to take your ration book to the shop with you. Meat allowance was very small and expensive. However, my father had a gun and trained to use it, and would go out shooting, coming back with rabbits, hares, or pigeon for my mother to cook delicious meals. The sugar ration was saved so that we occasionally had some delicious home baking, and also for making jam and marmalade, all stored in a cupboard, enough to last a year. We also received eggs posted to us from relatives in Orkney, and a Christmas special, a fresh chicken delivered by post for our Christmas dinner. There are more memories I could share, but perhaps another time. What is good about remembering these times are that we were always so thankful for the little things which made life easier. The joy of a banana after queuing for them in the store. A new dress, which was actually a hand-me-down. An orange in our stocking at Christmas time. The 2 sweets we got after taking our daily dose of cod liver oil. Simple birthday or Christmas gifts my father made for us. During these difficult times, my parents found ways to use what we had or could get to make family life the best it could be. Communities worked together to help each other. You never felt ashamed to ask a neighbour for a cup of flour or sugar, and the help was always there. We are seeing this spirit of community now during this pandemic, which is wonderful. In some ways, this is a war we are fighting, and we all need to play our part in trying to control and hopefully, in the end, defeat the virus. Because of the men and women who have fought and died over the years and continue to protect us, we live in a peaceful country. We must never take this for granted and continue to love one another as God has commanded. As a society, we all gain so much more by working together, whatever our religious or political beliefs are. As we now turn our thoughts to celebrating Christmas, in whatever way is possible, may it be one where we give thanks for God's love for each of us, count our blessings, and do what we can to share God's love with all whom we meet.